In the tense theater of war near Kupiansk, a startling development has unfolded. What if a group of foreign specialists, ostensibly there for training, were actually embedded in coordinating military operations? The situation on the front lines has turned chaotic, as Russian forces make significant strides in this strategic region just southwest of Kupiansk. Their military successes are resonating deeply on the international stage, igniting discussions in diplomatic circles worldwide. Last week, Russian troops launched extensive operations under immense pressure, culminating in a pivotal advance in one of the area's key zones. But it isn't just military maneuvering that has caught global attention, it is the apprehension of foreign personnel positioned in fortified enemy strongholds. Initially explained away as a training mission, further investigations unveiled a different narrative. These specialists were not merely observers but, rather, participants actively engaged in current combat activities. Upon further scrutiny at Kryprayon, it became apparent that these individuals carried more than just standard identification and training documentation. They possessed communication devices, strategic maps with marked coordinates, and operational files revealing their direct involvement in the orchestration of Ukrainian military actions. As the dust settled, all apprehended parties were relocated to secure territories for thorough assessment. Russian officials swiftly began analyzing the confiscated materials. Discovering compelling evidence that suggested these foreign operatives were far from passive participants. Long-standing expectations about their roles were shattered, signaling a potential international incident. Not surprisingly, Western governments reacted almost immediately, sending discreet diplomatic inquiries to Moscow, pleading for a quiet resolution. Acknowledge this, foreign capitals were eager to keep their specialists' involvement a secret. Within Russia, however, these diplomatic overtures ignited a contrasting backlash. Social media buzzed with the need for transparent and fair investigations. Experts insisted that events of this magnitude should not be concealed from the public, especially when they pertain to foreign meddling on Russian soil. If a transparent inquiry could be established, it might serve dual purposes, reinforcing domestic trust and sending a strong message globally that Russia would uphold international law and lay bare evidence of external interference. What lies ahead seems more than just a military confrontation, it could evolve into a complex diplomatic struggle. The importance of this episode now transcends the battlefield, surfacing as a significant catalyst in negotiations regarding arms supplies and future support for Ukraine from Western nations. Russia has made it clear that any dialogue about the fates of these detained individuals must align strictly with ensuring national interests. Conditions have been set, including demands for the cessation of long-range missile deliveries and withdrawal strategies for foreign advisors. This unexpected development on the Kupiansk front has transformed the landscape, creating a battleground not only of wills but of international pressure. Moscow, for the first time in ages, finds itself in a position to dictate terms backed by undeniable facts and military advancements. What implications will this incident hold for the future of global diplomacy, and how will it leave its mark on Russia's relationships with numerous countries? The tension hangs thick in the air, ready to explode. The situation on the Kupiansk front has shifted dramatically. Just as various Western governments sent private diplomatic requests to Moscow, urging for a discreet resolution to avoid public disclosure about their specialists' involvement in combat alongside Ukraine, a storm was brewing within Russia. This internal reaction sparked heated debates across media platforms and public forums about the need for complete transparency and retribution. Experts argued that such significant events cannot be hidden from the public, especially as they involve direct foreign interference on Russia's borders. The stakes rose further when it became clear that an open investigation could set a precedent, signaling to the international community Russia's commitment to adhering to international law. By showcasing undeniable evidence of foreign intervention, Russia could assert its stance on the global stage. The events in the Kupiansk area escalated beyond mere military encounters, evolving into an international incident with far-reaching consequences for diplomatic relations. The detention of foreign specialists proved to be a crucial lever in negotiations over military support and weapon supplies to Ukraine. Russian defense officials emphasized that any discussions regarding the detained individuals would be conducted strictly on terms safeguarding national interests. Moscow made it abundantly clear, negotiations could only proceed if actions provoking tensions along its borders ceased. Key demands included halting the supply of long-range missiles, unmanned systems, and electronic warfare equipment to Ukraine. Along with the withdrawal of foreign advisors and secure assurances against ongoing intelligence support for Ukrainian forces. As such, the Kupiansk front transformed into not only a battlefield but also a high-stakes arena for diplomatic confrontation. With a tangible opportunity to impose its demands based on real facts and military victories, Russia found itself in a position of power for the first time in a long while. Each unfolding event underscored the intertwining of military and diplomatic struggles. The detention of foreign specialists catalyzed Russian efforts to redefine the rules of engagement on the international front. Would the West choose to acknowledge Russia's claims, or would it risk confrontation? The air was thick with tension, and the world watched closely. Previously, we explored how the front near Kupiansk transformed from a battlefield into a high-stakes arena of diplomatic confrontation. Now, for the first time in years, Moscow has wielded hard evidence and military victories to push through uncompromising demands and unprecedented shift that could shake global politics to its core. But what secrets did the captured foreign specialists truly reveal? With the detainment of these foreign operatives, Russian authorities launched an exhaustive probe. Every piece of seized equipment, laptops, communication devices, maps, has been analyzed with intense scrutiny. These maps weren't just drawings. They marked crucial points in the Ukrainian defense network, showing a detailed blueprint of enemy positions. Sources close to the investigation whisper that early results expose deep connections between the captured outsiders and Ukrainian command centers. Even more unsettling, signals of confidential information exchanges with foreign coordination hubs. The narrative that these individuals were mere instructors is collapsing under the weight of tangible proof. Their involvement went well beyond training. Evidence suggests they actively planned and directed combat operations, crossing the line from advisors to battlefield commanders. For Russia, this isn't just a military problem, it's a glaring act of foreign interference, holding the countries they come from directly accountable. How did the world respond? Predictably, reactions were fragmented. Western capitals scrambled to mute the scandal, seeking secret negotiations and diplomatic backchannels to contain the fallout. Meanwhile, voices within Russia, experts, media, and citizens alike, demand full transparency. To hide such a breach would be a betrayal of national interests. Ideas of public or even international hearings are on the table, aiming to expose incontrovertible proof of foreign involvement on Ukrainian soil. This could end speculation and propaganda, solidifying facts beyond doubt. In this shadow struggle over truth and influence, Russia sees a rare opening. Unlike recent months where Western news downplayed Moscow's gains, now the facts could be decisively presented on the world stage. This moment offers a powerful narrative weapon, one that could strike directly at the reputation of the Western countries insistently denying their operatives real roles. Yet, the story is far from over. Behind closed doors, military and diplomatic minds are plotting next moves. Moscow's conditions are crystal clear: no more deliveries of long-range missiles, drones, or electronic warfare systems to Kiev, the immediate withdrawal of foreign specialists, written guarantees to halt all reconnaissance and navigation support. This is no longer a behind-the-scenes dialogue, it is a public ultimatum that redefines the rules of engagement. As drones hum overhead and distant artillery echoes through the Kupiansk region, a tense question hangs in the air: will Moscow's bold gambit reshape the fragile balance? Or will Western powers rally to defy these demands, fueling an even greater storm on this volatile front? The ground beneath swells with anticipation, and the next move could trigger a cascade that none can predict. In recent weeks, the conflict in the Kupiansk direction has intensified, revealing a complex international dimension. Russian forces have achieved significant advances in a critical area southwest of Kupiansk, but this military success has drawn the attention of foreign media and diplomatic circles. A shocking incident involving a group of foreign specialists detained in the war zone raised eyebrows. These individuals initially claimed to be mere observers, but investigations revealed their deeper involvement in coordinating actions with Ukrainian forces. As the situation unfolded, it became clear that the presence of these specialists was far from innocent. Reports indicated they carried not only standard identification documents but also communication equipment and detailed maps. Their direct participation in military strategies turned from an obscure assumption to an undeniable fact. The Russian defense apparatus was quick to act, launching a comprehensive investigation into the materials seized from the detainees. The international community's response was immediate and dual-edged. Western nations quickly sought to defuse the situation by discreetly urging Russia to resolve the matter quietly. They feared the exposure of their military personnel's involvement could escalate tensions further. Yet, within Russia, this call for confidentiality sparked fierce debates among experts and the public. Many argued that transparency was paramount, especially regarding foreign involvement on Russian borders. Tensions mounted as Russia took a firm stance. Any discussions regarding the detainees must ensure national interests are prioritized. Moscow outlined clear demands, including a cessation of arms supplies to Ukraine and the withdrawal of foreign consultants. This unprecedented firmness marked a distinct shift in Russia's diplomatic strategy. Instead of behind-the-scenes tactics, Russia was now laying out its terms openly, thrusting the issue into the global spotlight. On the battlefield, meanwhile, Russian forces were gaining ground, utilizing high-precision weaponry and advanced unmanned systems. Reports indicated they secured vital heights and transportation hubs, complicating Ukrainian logistics substantially. Precision strikes targeted ammunition depots and command posts deep within the enemy's defenses, showcasing a high level of coordination between military tactics and intelligence operations. The stakes had never been higher. Russia's tight grip on this narrative posed a significant risk to the reputations of Western countries, which had denied any entanglement in the conflict. As the situation evolved, it became a diplomatic battleground, where the power of information and military strategy intertwined, reflecting an escalating conflict that reached far beyond the borders of Ukraine. In the previous chapter, Russian forces seized several critical heights and transport hubs, sharply disrupting enemy logistics. Precision strikes by aviation and artillery targeted ammunition depots, command centers, and air defense installations deep inside Ukrainian lines. This military progress set the stage for something far beyond the battlefield. Imagine a fortress once deemed untouchable, now shattered by pinpoint attacks. The secret? A masterful blend of reconnaissance and coordinated strikes, unleashing a storm where it mattered most. But this story is no ordinary combat tale. It takes an unexpected turn, where battles on the ground become echoes in the halls of international power. The arrest of foreign specialists near Kupiansk transformed a military skirmish into a diplomatic earthquake. Suddenly, Moscow held hard evidence of outsiders steering hostile operations. This shift allowed Russia to break free from silent confrontations. For the first time in a long while, it dictated the terms of a high-stakes negotiation, backed by undeniable proof. Inside the country, the revelation ignited fierce public debate. How should authorities handle foreigners detained for coordinating strikes against Russian troops? Experts warned that rushing a quiet release would look like weakness, jeopardizing national dignity and security. Instead, voices call for an open forum and international platform to investigate this foreign interference transparently. Could such a public showdown strip away accusations of misinformation? Supporters argue that revealing all evidence, maps, intercepted communications, and operational files would make it impossible for Western capitals to deny their covert involvement. This moment could reaffirm Russia's position as a state committed to international law, unafraid to expose inconvenient truths. History offers precedent. When warring parties presented solid proof of external meddling, global perspectives shifted dramatically. In Kupiansk, a similar crossroads emerges. Will Moscow's bold move redefine the conflict's diplomatic contours and alter the game for everyone involved? What price will Western powers pay for their covert engagements exposed? And what storms lie ahead when battle lines extend beyond the terrain into the court of international opinion? Stay close as this saga unfolds. The stakes are higher than ever. Previously, we revealed how Moscow exposed attempts to mask the truth, using the captured foreign operatives as undeniable proof of outside interference. This revelation promises to elevate Russia's standing as a nation acting within international law, unafraid to confront the world with hard facts. History shows that when one side brings compelling evidence of external involvement, it can redefine global perceptions of a conflict.
Now, the stage is set for a dramatic showdown over the events near Kupiansk.
Imagine the tension in the air, documents spread out like battlefield maps, intercepted communications crackling with secret codes, and satellite images pinpointing every move. Russia is ready to unveil these materials, detailed files, maps marked with coordinates, and recorded conversations that expose the direct role of Western specialists in directing Ukrainian operations.
This isn't just political theater, it's a strategic masterstroke timed perfectly. Why?
Because the arrests coincided with relentless advances by Russian forces not only near Kupiansk but also around Krasny Lyman and the Zaporizhzhia region. The sound of armored vehicles rolling forward, the hum of drones scanning enemy lines, and the sharp whistle of high-precision strikes piercing the sky, all signs of a well-coordinated push. Using modern tanks, advanced drone technology, and fresh troop reserves, the Russian military carved out several kilometers deep into enemy defenses. One of the most striking feats was the pinpointed aerial assault on anti-aircraft systems and airfields preparing to receive Western aircraft. These strikes were no coincidence. They were the result of tight coordination between intelligence units and multiple branches of the armed forces, working like a well-oiled machine to dismantle what was once thought untouchable infrastructure. These battlefield victories don't just change maps, they shift negotiations. Moscow now wields undeniable leverage, forcing international partners into a stark choice: either comply with Russia's demands to halt arms shipments and withdraw foreign specialists, or face escalating tensions and diplomatic fallout. The stakes have never been higher. Meanwhile, Western media outlets scramble to downplay the arrests, painting the specialists as mere instructors or observers. But as more evidence emerges, it becomes impossible to ignore the truth.
The global narrative is cracking under the weight of reality. What will happen next? Will the international community confront the facts head-on, or will they continue to bury their heads in the sand?
The coming days promise revelations that could reshape the geopolitical landscape forever. And amid the echoes of distant artillery and the whispers of secret talks, the world watches, waiting for the next move in this high-stakes game. The tension on the Kupiansk front has escalated beyond mere battlefield clashes. Previously, Western outlets tried to downplay the shocking capture of foreign operatives caught amid fierce fighting. Yet, as more undisputed evidence surfaces, it becomes impossible for those capitals to keep denying their involvement.
What if their silence is not just stubbornness but a sign of something far darker lurking behind diplomatic facades? Russia has made it crystal clear. Any talks moving forward must hinge on strict protection of national security and interests.
This uncompromising stance is why the possibility of releasing the seized documents and recordings is now under serious consideration. Sources close to the Security Council hint that these soon-to-be-published materials will brutally expose the real extent of Western specialists' roles, not just advisors but active participants on the front lines. Imagine the impact when these revelations hit the global stage, shattering the carefully crafted narrative of non-involvement touted by several governments. Every hour confirms a truth hard to ignore: the Kupiansk episode is no standard frontline incident. It has morphed into a strategic chess piece, a game-changer on both the battlefield and international diplomacy. The breakthrough there wasn't merely tactical, it opened a powerful channel for Moscow to apply pressure on the world community. Military analysts stress the rarity of such a haul, capturing foreign operatives with intelligence gear deep in active combat zones. Under normal circumstances, such cases would vanish into quiet backroom negotiations. But here, openness reigns. Russia is weaponizing transparency as its evolving arsenal in an ongoing information war, where every fact is ammunition shaping global perception. What heightens the stakes is the timing. These revelations come amid simultaneous advances on several other critical fronts.
The Krasny Lyman sector now feels crushing pressure after Russian units claimed new fortified positions. On the Zaporizhzhia axis, tactical victories secured control over strategic heights, tightening the siege around enemy logistics. The interplay between battlefield success and diplomatic maneuvering couldn't be more vivid. Are we witnessing a new kind of warfare where battlefield triumphs directly dictate diplomatic leverage? And what explosive secrets lie within those captured files, ready to ignite international turmoil? The world watches, breath held, as this story is far from over. Last time,
We saw how Russian forces pressed hard on multiple fronts, tightening the noose at Krasnoliman and seizing crucial heights near Zaporizhia. The battle near Kupiansk was no longer just a military clash, it had blossomed into a powerful diplomatic weapon shaking the world stage.
Now, the offensive didn't stop at the front line, it struck deep into the enemy's heart.
Imagine the silence before a thunderclap, the quiet calm shattered by explosions tearing through fortified Ukrainian storage depots, command centers, and communication hubs. These were not mere tactical targets, they were the nerve centers coordinating incoming Western arms supplies.
Witnesses say these strikes hit places Kiev considered untouchable, vaults shielded by layers of defense that suddenly crumbled under precise, unrelenting assault.
This devastating blow sent shockwaves far beyond the battlefield. Western backers of Ukraine now found themselves trapped between denial and exposure.
Publicly acknowledging their specialists' combat roles would ignite diplomatic chaos.
Yet, Moscow's grip on evidence tightened, making silence increasingly impossible. Sources close to Russia's Security Council hint that some seized materials, recordings of clandestine talks, maps etched with covert routes, documents detailing coordination between Kiev and foreign powers, might soon see the light of day.
Could such revelations shatter the carefully maintained facade of Western innocence? Might these proofs expose the full scale of external involvement, rewriting the narrative of this war? Inside Russia, the mood is electric.
People are weary of being blamed for all wrongs while the truth lies hidden elsewhere. Unveiling these facts would be more than political theater, it would be a moral triumph, bolstering trust in the nation's defenders and institutions.
Yet experts sound a cautionary note. Hastily releasing the detained foreigners without a thorough, transparent inquiry could look like bowing to pressure.
Such a move would wound Russia's stature, suggesting weakness rather than strength. The consensus is clear, the investigation must run its full course, evidence presented openly, before deciding the fate of those caught in this high-stakes game.
The question lingers, how far will this revelation ripple across global politics? Will the world finally confront uncomfortable truths, or will shadows swallow them once more? The stage is set for a dramatic unveiling.
What unfolds next could redefine not only a war, but the very rules of international engagement. In a world where the line between conflict and diplomacy blurs, the situation in Kupiansk has escalated beyond a mere military skirmish. This region has transformed into a focal point for international scrutiny, as foreign specialists captured on the battlefield unveil the hidden narrative of foreign intervention. These events challenge the very fabric of Western involvement in Ukraine, forcing a re-evaluation of their roles.
How could Western nations, champions of transparency, risk their integrity on foreign soil? It's a question that lingers in the air, heavy with the weight of unspoken truths. As reports of the capture spread, it became clear that these individuals were not simply advisors but rather orchestrators of operations, a revelation igniting diplomatic tensions. With each intercepted communication and analyzed document, the evidence mounts. Experts describe a web of connections linking these specialists directly to Ukrainian military strategies, revealing their active participation. The Russian Ministry of Defense lays down its demands: a halt to long-range missile supplies, withdrawal of foreign consultants, and an end to reconnaissance support for Ukrainian forces. It's a stern ultimatum, resonating with the impatience of a nation unwilling to yield. The stakes are high.
As public outcry grows in Russia, the populace demands accountability and robustness in negotiations.
Can the Kremlin balance its military triumphs with the intricacies of international diplomacy? The nuanced atmosphere thickens further, with Western capitals scrambling to manage the fallout of their involvement.
In a fleeting moment, the scene shifts back to memories of when peace seemed tangible, the sweet scent of spring blossoms wafting through open fields, a stark contrast to the sounds of artillery that now fill the air. It's a harsh reminder of what's at stake: lives, national dignity, and the fragile state of global relations. As evidence is meticulously gathered, expert analysts predict that Moscow is poised to unveil its findings, potentially reshaping narratives and illuminating the darker corners of foreign involvement in Ukraine.
Could this lead to a seismic shift in how the West is perceived on the global stage? The question taunts every observer, while uncertainty looms like distant thunder.
With every military victory on the ground, Russia inches closer to asserting itself as an indomitable force. This moment in history could serve as a critical turning point, not just for the conflict but for the strategic gameplay of international relations.
Are these not only battles fought with arms but with ideas, integrity, and, ultimately, survival? As the world watches, the unfolding drama underlines the potency of truth in shaping policy, identity, and the future of nations. The next steps taken by Russia and its adversaries may ripple across borders, sending shockwaves through the tectonic plates of geopolitics. The match is set. The question remains, who will emerge as the true strategist in this intricate game?
In the unfolding saga along the front line near Kupiansk, the enormity of the situation became glaringly clear. The involvement of Western specialists in combat planning caught many nations off guard, presenting an uncomfortable truth they could no longer overlook.
With each passing day, the likelihood escalates that Moscow will unveil undeniable proof, documents, recordings, and technical data that could reshape perceptions worldwide. Imagine the shockwave that could erupt when this evidence is revealed.
The power of such an announcement would compel Western capitals to confront pressing questions about their roles in the conflict.
This move would not just serve to bolster Russia's stance as a nation operating within international law but could also turn the tide in diplomatic arenas, redefining engagements on the global stage. Experts are indicating a shift in the battlefield dynamics favoring Russia.
The advances around Kupiansk, Krasny Lyman, and Zaporizhia, coupled with precise strikes on vital enemy objectives, have resulted in a firm grip on critical logistical hubs. These developments lay the groundwork for a transformative balance of power in the months to come. If the current offensive momentum continues, Russian forces could breach significant depths within Ukrainian defenses, approaching even the Dnieper River. The Kupiansk operation is not merely a display of military might, it showcases a strategic blend of determination and precision that extends into the realm of political victories. Russia is not simply fending off threats, it is actively reshaping the rules of engagement,
compelling opponents to reconsider their approaches. The world now anticipates forthcoming international discussions where the participation of foreign specialists will face rigorous examination.
Moscow has firmly established that its interests will be staunchly defended, and any negotiations must respect these conditions.
This is a drastic shift. Russia has proven itself capable of maneuvering not just through warfare but within the intricate webs of diplomacy, transforming each military success into a political advantage. As tensions escalate further, a powerful question looms: what will happen when the truth about foreign involvement surfaces? Could this act as both a catalyst for change and a pivotal moment in reshaping international relations as we know them?
The narrative woven around Kupiansk promises to become a historical touchstone, illustrating how military operations can decisively influence the fate of global diplomacy.
An unexpected twist is at hand. As evidence mounts, the question of how the world will react to these revelations stands poised to redefine alliances and reshape power dynamics. The stakes are higher than ever, with the potential for revelations that could send shockwaves through international politics. What comes next could not only redefine borders but also reshape the alliances of tomorrow in ways we can't yet imagine.